Hey guys, it's Christian McCaffrey, pro running back. I'm partnering with Abercrombie this season to tell you about their viral denim. All you need to know is denim should fit like this. Abercrombie's athletic fit is a game changer. They're designed for guys with an athlete's build like mine. Just enough room and the perfect stretch. When a jean fits that well, I'm wearing it on repeat. Shop Abercrombie Denim in the app, online, and in store.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, Thinking About Quality by Tynan of Tynan.com. When you travel most of the time and do it with only a small backpack, eventually all of your travel gear becomes very high quality. You buy something nice, love using it, and it retains its utility for a long time. If you buy something low quality, it breaks or frustrates you, and you end up replacing it with something high quality, which lasts. Not everything I travel with was of highest quality at first, but through that process, it became so. I noticed that my mindset changed as my belongings became higher quality, and that convinced me to extend that standard across the rest of my life. At this point, nearly everything I use at home or while traveling is the best available. First, a word about quality, as I often see people who have things they think are high quality, but are not, at least by my definition. Quality is derived from purity of design and from best materials. When something is designed, I want for it to be designed to complete its function as perfectly as possible, requiring the least from me, and only then to take into account aesthetics. For example, my watch is decent looking, but not as good as other watches. However, the operation of it is a dream come true. Breitling clearly understood that a frequent traveler, they designed it for pilots, would want to be able to know the time anywhere around the world at a glance, but would also need a way to switch between time zones effortlessly, and maybe he'd need to time things. It serves those functions perfectly, and then it gets out of the way. It doesn't require charging ever. It doesn't break or scratch. It doesn't need a lot of maintenance, and it doesn't have extra stuff like moon phase that isn't applicable to the mission. It can go underwater to significant depths. And then the materials are chosen perfectly. The steel is brushed to hide scratches, and the crystal is sapphire, which is indestructible. Another good example would be my laptop. It's lighter than any other similar laptop, has a high-resolution screen, the biggest external factor in computer productivity. It has the proper ports to work with everything. The case feels like plastic. It's actually a high-tech magnesium alloy, but it's basically indestructible. Last is my wool and print shirt, or my makers and riders pants. Both understand the balance between form and function, and they use very high quality materials that perform beautifully. The shirt I wear now is white and light blue, has only been washed once a month on average, daily wear, and has no stains. Why? It's wool. More expensive and difficult to work with than cotton, but it pays off. Thoughtful mission-specific design and the best materials. It's important not to conflate price and quality. Sometimes they're the same, but other times price is co-opted by marketing to indicate quality where it doesn't exist. This is very common in clothing and electronics, Beats headphones being a prime example. Sometimes a cheaper thing like Chipotle is higher quality than something expensive, like most other restaurants. The net result of surrounding yourself with high quality is that friction just disappears. I have no real frustrations with anything I own. They always work as expected and sometimes surprise me because I haven't thought about the function as deeply as a designer. Friction is also reduced because you need to replace items far less frequently. I shop for a shirt once a year and I only get one. Same with pants. I may never buy another watch again. An unexpected mental benefit of shifting to only high quality is that you become inspired. I'm constantly inspired by the excellence of the items I use. It's a constant reminder of what happens when the genius and hard work of our species is combined with the finest materials available on the planet. There have been a number of times where I've been scared to spend more on quality. Should I really spend thousands on a watch when I could buy one for tens? Every single time I've been glad I spent the money. And just about every time I've spent money on something that wasn't high quality, I've wished I just bought the right thing the first time. That has happened a lot with tools, where I didn't really understand how much better good tools are. I almost never encourage people to spend more money. My gear posts are sometimes coupled with disclaimers saying not to buy stuff you don't need. When people email me about coaching, I tell them not to sign up if I think it'll be a financial stretch for them. But this once, think about an item in your life that causes friction, research alternatives, and buy a higher quality one than you normally would. Do this just as an experiment, and only do it if you can spend the money without derailing your financial plans. I know it's slightly controversial advice from someone often thought of as a minimalist, but it's important to experiment and do what you think is best regardless of whether it matches labels or not. You just listened to the post titled Thinking About Quality by Tynan of Tynan.com.
Imagine you're a business owner who has to rely on a dozen different software programs to run your company, none of which are connected. And each one is more expensive and more complicated than the last. It can be pretty stressful. Now imagine Odoo. Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one simple, easy-to-use platform, giving you peace of mind that your business is always being taken care of from every angle. Odoo has user-friendly, open-source applications for everything. We're talking CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and everything in between. Basically, if your business needs it, Odoo's got it. Odoo sounds pretty amazing, right? So stop wasting your time and money on those expensive, disconnected platforms and let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. It doesn't get much better than that. So what are you waiting for? Discover how Odoo can take your business to the next level by visiting odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Odoo, modern management made simple.
So, you're about to make a trade based on a friend's text. But which you do you listen to? Is it, "Oh, we could buy a house in Tulum"? Get optioning those options. We could lose everything. Or, let's do a little research. Get your head in the trade and make the investment decision that's right for you. Learn more at finra.org/trade-smart.
I have a complicated relationship with the word quality. I spent my corporate career in consumer products, and I got an inside look at the way things are made. Every single manufacturer I've ever spoken with my entire career told me how they were focused on quality. But the reality is that quality is highly subjective. Most of us aren't knowledgeable enough about thread count, fabric composition, and material sourcing to make any kind of objective assessment on the quality of the item we're buying. We mostly look at the price tag. If something costs more, we assume it's because it's higher quality, and so that justifies the price. We assume we'll need to replace it less often, and it'll benefit the environment to buy this more expensive, higher quality item. But from my vantage point, I know that what we're mostly paying for is marketing. Whether we buy something at Walmart or an expensive boutique, many of our material possessions are sourced from the same factories in China. The only difference much of the time is the brand and how much money the company spends on marketing. This isn't always the case. There are times when there's a clear correlation between price and quality, but I definitely think we should be questioning these assumptions when we're assessing our options. That should do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you on the Wednesday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.